a Kickstarter called Spectrus and Sebastian, if I can pronounce that right. Correct?
Sebastian. Yep, that
Sebastian.
works.
Sebastian. Okay. Just wanted to make sure my pronunciation was good today. So let me go ahead and pop us on. And there we go. And here you go, Kurt. And I'm doodling here in the background as usual. So I hope you guys are doing great. So let me go ahead and pop up his Kickstarter right here in the main thing. And then we're going to go into the other one. And I'm going to pin it so everybody can look at it. So, Kurt, what started this whole story? Because I was interested, because a lot of people are interested in Egyptians, and especially Cleopatra, because they haven't been able to find her body yet. Although now they say they're kind of a few years away from finding it, which I find interesting. So, why this story? I mean, what was the thing about the assassin and all that other stuff?
Well, it's kind of the whole, ghosts. I like ghosts. I like kind of the things that go bump in the night. So, I read a book called Cleopatra: A Life by Stacy Schiff, and it's basically the story of Cleopatra and Antony as they were exchanging words with Rome, and there was all this tension going on, and almost certainly Antony and Cleopatra thought about sending someone to kill Octavian, the Roman emperor at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I just thought about that, and being a military guy, I'm like, wow, what a mission that would be.
Mm-hmm.
Your entire country, the survival of your country depends on this one mission, on taking out this one guy, and what a burden that would be. And if you failed, how that would, it would be that the supreme task left undone.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, that was kind of, hey, Cleopatra would send someone to kill the Roman emperor, and if she failed, what a tragedy that would be, and she probably couldn't rest or something like that.
So what is the other names to it? Sabanian and...
Sebastian, that's a demon. That's just kind of a name I came up with. He's a wrath demon. I'm kind of working off the seven deadly sins there. He's a wrath. It's his job to punish murderers, actually, in hell. So he came to the world here. He was given a task that I can't get into.
Of course.
But he failed, and he's kind of a demon on the run, kind of in hiding. His interaction with Spectrus, they kind of have this curse that connects the two of them. I've always kind of liked, Cloak and Dagger, and those pairs of heroes. But what if they didn't really like each other? What if their existences were codependent, but they didn't get along? So that's kind of what I'm exploring in the story.
Well, that's good. Yeah, because I was wondering about that, like the origin. So was there any sort of, really any sort of... And by the way, guys, I'm streaming across platforms, so I may not see you go on. So say hi, and I'll be able to converse with you. And Kurt will be able to converse with you. I'll read off your questions to him if you have any. And by the way, Unstoppable Cockblocka, hey, thank you for coming on. He's on my YouTube channel right there. So, but yeah, so, I mean, it's kind of interesting because it's like, was it, because I know you were telling us you had military experience. Do you think that had something to do with that, or to write that, or?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I've been in since I was 17, so you kind of are in that mindset when you've been in something for just almost your entire life. So yeah, you tend to look at things from a mission perspective, and you got to get this done. What do you do? What's the cost of failure? What do you do to win?
Yeah. So it was interesting. I read the little excerpt that you had up on there. I found it fascinating. So I'm just kind of interested to see how it goes. What are the other people that I see on the cover? Like, I've seen a military man, and I've seen a woman. It appears to be a woman in military fatigues. So, what characters are they in there?
Well, that's the Moon Crew. The problem with this story is that I've really had a hard time with the elevator pitch
Yeah.
because there's a lot of stuff going on. So Sebastian is kept in a prison for supernatural threats called Containment Facility 4, and it's patrolled by the Moon Crew, and it's this team of security people, and they're in there on night full moon because that's when things go down. And basically, it's kind of the consummation of the curse between Stickies and Sebastian. They have to do this blood ritual every month on the night of the full moon. So, and I leave some of it. It's still a bit ambiguous. I haven't gotten to the story to explain the entire thing, but they, kind of patrol the dark hallways on nights, and one of them always passes out. And when they wake back up again, they've got a bad scratch to where they're bleeding. So, and the Moon Crew itself, they don't really understand it or why or what happens, but it's kind of it's gotten to the point where they expect it every full moon, and they get a bump in their paycheck every time they get it. So it's kind of like become routine. It's just supernatural peril has become routine. The night the comic book starts, the routine is over. Things happen.
Mm-hmm. I see. So it's like pretty exciting. I think you are close to funding, right?
Yeah, I'm at 77% right now. We just hit. I had a milestone bonus at 75, and then we hit 77 last night.
Oh, that's cool. That's good.
Thank you.
Mm. So yeah, I mean, like for you, how much are you asking for in the Kickstarter off the top of my head? It's like about.
The goal is $2,000.
Yeah, you'll make that easy. It's a pretty quick thing. Like I made about.
Yeah.
Actually,
You're at over 50 now, right? Is it 60?
60. Let me take a look. 60. I can't look at it right. Well, actually, let me look at it right now. So cool. Unstoppable actually on YouTube was asking me if there was a link to it. He says yes, I see it, and I'm like, okay, cool. Because like with this little thing, it kind of persnickety how it gives links, and I got to do it again in Facebook Live. But at 3,592.
Nice.
Thanks. And then it's at 65%. So I think I should just be able to make it. I think I should make a little more if things keep going. Because I will say this, for all of us creators and stuff, and guys, please share our stuff because to get funded. Because the thing is, the last couple of weeks kind of kicked our butts. I think you released it a little later than me, though, right? So I think
I released on June 2nd, which was a horrible idea.
Well,
it was the blackout day. And I knew it was bad, but you know what? I've delayed like twice before that.
I remember you saying that one time.
So I said, you know what? I'm not gonna tell my followers I'm delaying again. I'm just gonna do it. So that day it went pretty well. I think I got like 27%, but then that Wednesday, the day after, kicked up pretty high. So I've still been successful. No regrets.
Yeah, I mean, about 2,000. You're looking at 2,000. You're going to make that in about a matter of a few days, I think. And also, I mean, what kind of sucked for me was that I released mine on the 23rd of May, and I had a really good growth. And then the second week was slow, but that was to be expected. But then the riots started happening. And then the next week, everybody was just bummed out on curfew and otherwise preoccupied.
Oh, yeah. Bad timing.
Yeah. So, hey, Quentin, by the way. So it's kind of like I still had a growth, but it was slow, and that was a pain in the ass. So it's kind of down to the wire for me. I've got 2 weeks left. I think I should be able to make it, but it looks like there's been some surges, and that's kind of nice. So my first week was great. I mean, I think I got up to 30%, and then the 2 weeks happened, and I'm like, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, it got pretty bad, even though it was a thing, like, what did go through my head was like, should I have stopped? Should I have called it and just waited a different time? I mean...
Yeah.
but at the same time, I was like, I think I just need to go through this and just see what happens. So that's going. Mind blown under a minute. Spectrus. Oh, Unstoppable Cockblock. It says mind blown in under a minute. Spectrus and Sorry, I'm
Sebastian.
like Sebastian. I am
Like
so sorry.
Sebastian, but without the ST. Sebastian. Yeah.
Sebastian. Sorry, I like.
When I see Jessica and Dan on, hello.
Yeah. Spectrus and Sebastian look promising. Artwork and colors reminds me of Dynamite's Deja Thoris title. So hey, you got a fan here, man. Yeah, Unstoppable. Right. Go support his stuff. He's like 500 away roughly from it. So like really,
yeah.
At least put some like peace of mind to him and like fund it right away so he can do the gravy on top of the mashed potatoes, guys. Like you can make some good mashed potatoes, but you need to have that fucking gravy. I mean, I'm looking to make gravy too, so, and I'm not funded. I'm like a little more than halfway funded, so.
Yeah. I'm looking at some UV covers and the foil stamps, that kind of thing. We'll get some stretch goals out there. Hopefully, knock on wood, we get that to that point.
Yeah. So, do you want to say what printer you're going with? You're thinking?
Oh yeah, Comic Impressions.
I have not heard of them.
They actually sent me a really nice packet. I mean, you can Comic Impressions. You give them a call. Their estimate doesn't work well if you want to plug in all your numbers and stuff. Just call them or send them an email and say, hey, this is what I want to do. But yeah, they gave me a bunch of here would be. I think this one is a little bit dark or something. So they gave me this whole nice packet of potential covers, and then they got the paper, the different paper and cover weights. So Comic Impressions. And I think they'll be faster. I used Print Ninja on my last one.
Yeah, Print Ninja is really good. I've heard. I've talked to them. They're very attentive.
They are. They've been great. But it's like a 2-month turnaround.
Well, and not only that, they'll have to print overseas, and that's been kind of dicey right now at the present moment. Yeah. Are these people domestic or are they overseas?
I think they're down in Georgia. Let's see.
The hell?
Yeah, you can find them online. But I think they're in one of the Carolinas or Georgia or something like that.
Oh, okay. So it's local. Because like some of the stuff, a majority of stuff that I'm getting done with my Kickstarter, it would be local and in the U.S. because that would just probably be a better turnaround time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's really a good props that Unstoppable gave you, man. That's really cool.
Well, thank you. Thanks, Unstoppable. Is he on YouTube?
He's on YouTube. He's on my YouTube channel.
Okay,
so,
cool.
I'm just reading it to you, so what?
Thank you. What is it you're drawing here we're...
I am drawing a Demon Bitch cartoon.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing is, Demon Bitch is like this... Okay, so if everybody just like... I know we've been all like Kickstarter brain, so it's like details and stuff, like, come on, I'm like terrible at pronouncing names right now. But Demon Bitch is a low-level demon from the 13th pit of hell where people throw their dog crap in gum wrappers. And she wants to bring the second coming of Armageddon, but the first one never happened because she is dumb. So she wants to go and do it, but she's like distracted by promiscuous sex and hard drugs and just being a total idiot. And
the normal distractions, yeah.
Yeah, like it's just basically, so the story of Demon Bitch is like girls that I really fucking hated because they were assholes. So they're like, there's different types of spiders, even though I like spiders, and spiders are great little creatures and these people aren't. But there's different types, so it's showing you the different types of spiders, essentially.
Okay. So, no, I can't do spiders. Can't do it. Sorry.
I'm this weird thing is like my skin crawls when I'm around them, but like I like them as predators, but they just make me feel crawly for some weird reason, and I've been bitten by them, so my skin got really fucking pissed off at me sometimes when that would happen.
Yeah, there's a certain size ratio that I the smaller ones, no big deal, but there's a certain, I haven't ascertained the exact size, but there's a certain size where it's just like, no, I'm not going to do it, or I have to kill it from about 3 or 4 feet away.
So is it like how many inches? Is it too much or what? Two. I mean, is it 2 or 3 or what?
It's probably 2, yeah, like the really big ones. Of course, that's not desert big, but it's big enough for me. So.
Oh yeah, like one guy I knew, he said, "Oh yeah, like we used to have like camel spiders and shit. And they
Oh
would pick them up
yeah.
by the ass or something, and then they'd kind of like do weird things with them and shit." But apparently
The
they can
awesome
jump.
thing about camel spiders is they're incredibly fast. I swear they run. They can run faster than a person.
Uh-huh.
And at night, light they have kind of this translucent quality, so they glow at night. And when they run real fast, their forelimbs are up like this.
Uh-huh.
So if you have one coming towards you, it's glowing. It's moving faster than anything like that should move, and it's got its two forelimbs up, ready. So I've seen very tough Marines. I've seen tough guys not able to deal with a spider like that.
I just
So yeah, okay, needles, no problem. Snakes, big deal.
yeah.
Spiders, no, can't
I
do it.
I actually don't mind snakes. My mom, like as I got older, she would just tell me all these weird phobias. Like initially she hated snakes. Like she would tell me about it. That's when I know. And
Yeah.
then we were like shopping one time during Christmas and for decorations. And I said, "Oh, look, there's an angel, Mom." It was like this really pretty porcelain angel. And then my mom was like, "Oh, I can't have those." I'm like, "What?" And I'm like in my mid 30s, and I'm like, "Why are you?" What I'd never heard this before, because I've seen her buy porcelain doll type things occasionally, or dolls for us or something. So I said, "Why?" And then she said, "Well, it reminds me of this movie. It's like called Wax Museum or something, and he would get pretty girls and preserve them in lead." I'm like, "What?" And I was just like really surprised that my mom was even like afraid of that. She had never let on, and all of a sudden, I don't know if your parents ever did that, but it's like you would just find out these weird new phobias they would have, and it's like it never occurred to you.
Okay. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
funny how they open up it more as you get older.
yeah, I guess so. I guess
Usually
it,
in shocking ways.
oh, really? How would you like to go and disclose of one if you care to?
Uh, I don't know. You just find out different things about your parents. How, dad was a bit of a lady killer, and you know, their anniversary date and the birthday of your oldest sibling maybe doesn't jive quite the way it should. So,
It kind of
so
reminds.
things like that.
Oh, I see. Like it kind of reminds me of Angela's Ashes. I forgot they got Frank McCourt. He was the oldest or something, and he thought he was
Okay.
special because, or he was a saint because he looked at his birth certificate and when his mom got married to his dad, and it was like 5 months or something, and he was like going, "I must be a saint." It's like, no, you were married because you would have been a bastard. And it's like, oh, but no, as far as I know, it was kind of funny though, because my mom was actually asked by my grandparents, my dad's parents, like when they got married, they said, "Are you pregnant?" Because I
Oh,
guess like they got married within 3 months of meeting each other or seeing each other, but they always kind of knew about each other because they actually were
okay.
raised in the same village in Seoul. But from what I understood, like they got married pretty quick, and then they said, "Are you? Tell us the good news," which means like, "Are you pregnant?" And it turned out that no, I came 2 years later, so it had nothing to do with
Okay.
that. So
Well, yeah. The good news is we just dramatically fell for each other. That's the good
yes,
news.
yes, that's it. And so like they've been together for forever. Today's my dad's birthday, so I wished him a happy birthday.
Nice.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because like my dad is like both easy to shop for, but really hard to, because he's like, "I don't want anything," but it's like, "Dad, I have to get you something. I'm gonna feel like an asshole if I don't." And
Yeah.
and then and you just kind of have to say, okay, something practical or something for the body. So I got him like a massager, like a deep tissue massager, like those ones that or chiropractors use sometimes to loosen up things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he liked that, so I gave him a call today, and he's doing well. Can't believe he's about 80. It's like, oh shit.
Wow. Very good.
Yeah. Well, my grandma, his mother, passed away at about 93, so I'm like, yeah, he's got a lot of good years in him, but Yeah, it's just my dad's tough. He's a really sweet guy though, and he's very smart. He actually designed nuclear reactors back in the day.
Designed. Wait, what?
Nuclear reactors. Nuclear reactors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Really smart.
Yeah, it was really crazy because like he was telling me, and I don't know, maybe you can affirm or contradict this, but I don't think it's like I think designing reactors is kind of a lost science because my dad was saying like a lot of the guys that knew how to really do it, they're his age now, and a lot of them have passed away or retired. So
Yeah, I don't know. Are they still, if they're still building them, or if what we have now is that, if that's going to be it? No idea. No idea how those.
they go back and forth from what I understand. They go back and forth like they want to do it. They are complaining about how it is because since we've kind of like paused the technology, we're supposed to be operating, I guess, like on a level Mark 5, but then a lot of the reactors are like going a couple marks down in actual capacity because they're older, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there was the big, the big scare after Fukushima, and the potential disaster. I know everybody's a big fan of Chernobyl, so who knows, that might have brought nuclear power down a few notches over the past years, you know.
Yeah, and it's weird because it has evolved to a point like they were saying like they don't need any like weapons grade plutonium or uranium. They actually can work with the existing waste and go it down. So, Quentin's saying congrats to your dad. See, my bro-in-law and my cousin share the same birthday today.
Cool.
And yeah, well, congratulations, dude.
Tell him happy birthday.
Yeah, Kurt's well, he hears you. What? Oh shit! It's 21 people already.
Cool.
Yeah. So you're gonna get a lot of exposure right now, guys.
I think so.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. That's cool. Like I said, this is my first live chat.
Yeah.
So
you're doing great.
What's that?
I said you're doing great.
Okay. Thanks. It's good to know.
Yeah. Let me also put up my Kickstarter there too, but I'm pinning yours, so and I'm gonna go put up my Kickstarter too, so you guys can take a look if you guys haven't already. I know some of you have already contributed, so thank you, and get Kurt's here to go ahead and promote his, and we're just sitting here as two creators. So you're welcome, Quentin. So as a writer, now did you kind of evolve into like writing your script, or is it just kind of like, or evolved into write? What made you want to kind of like write in the first place?
I've always wanted to write. I've journaled since college. I've always enjoyed writing, and it's just you get an idea and you tell people about it, and it just takes time, and people needle you, which is one. If anybody out there knows somebody that says, hey, I got this cool idea, just keep prodding them, because they might need it. And that's nice. It's what a family or a family member or a friend does. If you got an idea, they prod you, So and that's kind of what I needed. It took time, and then I wrote the script not really knowing what I was doing. And then I started to research more. I've always enjoyed comics, more so in high school. Kind of fell out for a while, and then I got back in with I heard about Southern Westerns, and I had to read it. That blew me away. So then that kind of just said, hey, it's time. If these things are being written as comics, something as good as Southern Bastard, well, then, I want to be in that. I want to be in that crowd too. And just encouragement. And then, I started to research. This is how you write a script. Although it's not very, comic, it's not very defined like a screenwriting script. But no, it's been fun. It's been a learning process, and it's just been a blast.
That's good.
How about you? What was your first? How'd you get started?
I remember I was like probably 5 and drawing a bunch of shit on some scratch paper that my dad brought home, like these reports and stuff. So we just
Okay.
like draw on the back all the time, my sister and I. I mean, my sister drew a little bit, but she wasn't an artist like me, and I don't mean that as a knockoff, but just she wasn't it. You know, like as a kid, she drew the things,
Right.
but I was the one that actually did it like a lot seriously. And I remember this story my mom told me about myself. Like she just told me recently, and she says, "Oh, she's because I have a niece now. My sister just had a baby about 2 years ago, and I
Hmm.
swear to God, that kid, she sometimes has this expression on your face. I said, "Oh, you're gonna be devilish, okay?" Because she has like, and like my mom says, "Oh, she reminds me of you," because like there was a video where my sister asked her to draw something, and I
Okay.
was like going, and then she says, "Do you want to draw mommy?" And so she drew really fast. I mean, she's 2, so what's she gonna draw? But my mom said, "Oh, you know what? I remember the time when you were in kindergarten, and you drew the people in the middle of the paper to me." And then she said, and the teacher then asked you, "Hey, can you draw it at the bottom of the paper?" So she told me instead of me actually redrawing it at the bottom of the paper, I just took a pair of scissors and just cut the bottom of the paper off. Said here.
There you go. There you go. All right.
I guess I was like Alexander the Great. Have you heard of the story
The Gordian
the
knot,
Gordian?
right?
Yeah, and they said the first man to untie it will be king of the known world. He just cuts it.
There you go. Just a
Almost.
direct route, right?
Well, I mean, it's untied now. He didn't untie it, but it's untied. So
That's right, right.
yeah, yeah. So there you go on that. So, oh boy, it's just been one heck of a week. It's just actually nice to chill and kind of sit and talk with people for the time being. It's just,
It is. It's. I went for a walk last night. Of course, that's when the tornado warning hit, but we were fine. Uh, and it's just nice to see people out walking their dogs and uh, enjoying the summertime.
Yeah, it's so you live in the Chicago area, right? I don't want to get specific. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Suburb.
yeah, so it was pretty quiet the last few weeks as well. Like, because I know there were some hot spots, but I know neighborhoods can be different in general. Like I was 20 minutes away from the hot spot in downtown LA, so, for example.
We had a few. I heard from some other people, some work friends and things like that. Yeah, we had a few break-ins and some property destruction. I don't think anybody got hurt, but obviously Chicago has had a little unrest. But I think all the I should say all. I guess I don't know. A lot of the rage is kind of burned itself out.
Yeah.
And it's now going to civil disobedience and
Yeah.
protest, marching and make a statement, which is just the way it should be. I
I agree.
understand rage and those things, but like I said, I think rage burned itself out after a while, and then we can sit down and start talking. So
Yeah, it's kind of like like when you have a big fight with somebody and you're kind of really tired afterwards. I know that probably last week was kind of more like that. Everybody was just really tired.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, some people I notice are verbally getting into it again, but I think nobody wants to like continue doing this on the huge scale that it does.
No, it's not. It's not going to fix things. So
No, but yeah, I mean, it was weird. It was sort of challenging for me. It's kind of funny, like when I do Demon Bitch, right? So we were talking about that a little bit. So it's kind of weird for me. I'll ask this question of you in a minute, but like, it sort of actually challenged me more ways than one to draw material for it. And people might be surprised because they're just like, oh, well, you drew material for like Demon Bitch about girls you hate. Why can't you do that? I said, I know, but this is like so overwhelming and so angry and just like so it's not directed at me personally, but I feel like I'm sitting in between my two parents while they're screaming at each other. It's like it's kind of like you have that feeling again. It's like, man, I just don't want to be around this. I mean, you're with Facebook, there's a certain extent of it you're used to, but it just got so much that it was like mute button every time, Hey,
yeah,
Jeremy, how's it going?
yeah. No, you're right. You can't dwell. You can't take in. I mean, if you take in so much, it just becomes counter. I mean, you stay educated, you know what's going on, but if you're just slammed with it day in, day out, it's you can't think.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it was like hard after a while also to keep my spirits up. Like I literally was like, "Fuck people! I don't want to talk to them or
It's
anything."
yeah, it's hard. It's hard, but time heals things, so we'll let it play out.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. Now, for you, like for the creative process, I don't know if you like write for a bit and then you stop. Oh, Jeremy, it is Kurt Zauer, and he is doing a new Kickstarter, and it is called Spectrus and Sebastian.
Yep.
Thank you. I got that. I got that. I've been a bit tongue twisted today. I've been very like tired and lackadaisical today. But I just wanted to it's Spectre and Sebastian. You can see it pinned on in Facebook Live, Jeremy, and I know you're in it. But yeah, take a look, check it out, and throw him some support too. So he's here talking about his process. We're just also chatting too about events and things like that. So when you write, is it like a constant stream of writing? Like for me, like pretty much I draw kind of every day, but I don't hold myself to a really strict schedule, except with posting, just because sometimes there are many times, at least for me, what works for me is that I'll be really prolific, and then there'll be a few days where I just don't do much of anything. So I don't know if you're kind of similar or is it different?
Yeah, I am. I write in bursts a lot of times. Sometimes I need to, I used to go to the library a lot on weekends and just, a nice quiet place, no distractions, and just crank out, 5 or 10 pages. My output should probably be more, but I've got a full-time job, I've got the National Guard, I've got numerous other things going on, so I'm not as prolific as I'd like to be, but I get little ideas and things that I got to write this down right now. So, and then sometimes that'll turn into a 3 or 4 hour session. But Steve, if you read On Writing by Stephen King, he says his big mantra is "Do not come lightly to the blank page," and he's right. It really requires, for me anyway, a lot of focus, a lot of okay, I'm going to sit, I'm going to write, I'm going to shut out the rest of the world and really get this done. And a lot that leads to a lot of nights up till 2 or 3 a.m. when it happens spontaneously, when it happens when I don't expect it to or want it to, but sometimes that happens, and boom, I'm up till 2 a.m. and but I accomplish things and I get things done, so that feels good.
Well, that's good. Do you usually, because for me, sometimes what I'll do, okay, comic book creating Kickstarter creators. That's what Jeremy said. Okay, comic book creating Kickstarter creators. Now, do you prefer to like just sit on the laptop and type? Because for me, as an artist, I'm just curious to know like artists versus writers, and which is kind of weird because writing itself is an art. So I kind of feel weird, like I'm being redundant here. Like writing is its own form of art, but artists, being an artist or visual artist, it's doing its own form of art, and then we work together to create something. And is it just like for me? Sometimes I'll like have a sketch. I don't even carry a sketch pad a lot of the time, but sometimes I'll think of something stupid to draw, and I'll open up my book and just draw like a little Scrabble.
Yeah.
But it's not very good, but it'll give me the idea into my head. Okay, this is what I need to note down, and I'll write actually little notes. So, do you have like anything where you just write something as a scribble, like on pen and paper, or do you just type, or what do you do?
Yeah, I have scribbles probably in way too many places on this desk right now, and then I have verbal scribbles on the little recorder on my phone. So yeah, but I make scribbles and I rip them off and put them in my folder.
Yeah.
And then I rehash that. I like stickies a lot. I'll go to the mirror, on the closet here, and I'll write down little plot beats and stick them up, and then put them in order, and then okay, here's issue 3, here's issue 4, and this is what's got to happen here and there, and So so yeah, a lot of scribbles in a lot of different places, and then it on a weekend I'll gather them up and try to put them down somewhere and have them make sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'll see.
It's funny in the context of your whole Kickstarter. It's like we write in our own hieroglyphs, so that we can like figure it out. Like for me, if you look at all the red here, it's like I'm kind of writing stuff, but it's like sort of just like what the hell is everybody saying and everything. Like you can tell like in the red here. Sorry, I'm pointing at here. Like if on the red stuff, like I'm just writing down the dialogue, but nobody else can read it because it's so bad. But it's like I remember what they're trying to say, so that's why I do that, and you just do the red scribble and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jeremy's going on about how he's got a collection of hardcover Stephen King books. The Dark Tower by Stephen King that was made into a comic. Have 50 binders of drawings on loose leaf paper. That would be awesome. Lots of pencils and color pencils. It's like, yes, artists are kind of hoarders in that.
Yeah, I envy artists, people that can draw. It's amazing some of the things that you guys can put together, and it's just facial expressions and movement and comedy and action, and it's just something I wish I could do, but no, that's not my. That wasn't meant to be. But,
so when you draw, is it like, because I've noticed like a lot of writers will be kind of like joking about their drawing ability. They'll like be going like, yeah, I kind of draw stickman too, whatever. But then I've met people that write and draw too.
Yeah. There's some really lucky individuals. Stephen Frank is one.
Yeah, I noticed you have his book on the back. Also, I didn't.
Yeah. He is. He's an asshole.
Oh.
He makes me so angry because he can create a great story, draw it, letter it, and yeah, I'm being serious, obviously, because I'm back on his Kickstarter.
No. Yeah. He's a very nice person. I know him personally, and you're like, oh fuck, no, he's.
Oh, no kidding, really?
Yeah, I know.
Tell him I said he's an asshole.
All right, I'll tell him that. I say, hey, you know Kurt Zauer? He said you're. No, I'm just joking. I figured like, okay, where's this guy? And then he just, and again, like your personal opinions about people, I don't care. You're gonna have your personal opinion. No, but I could tell you're being joking.
It's complete sarcasm. It's if that comes from anywhere, it's just friendly. A little bit of friendly envy is what that is. So.
Oh yeah. But he's really cool. Like he can draw really well. And I like his story, Silver. So I've only gotten the 2 books so far. I need to get. I know there's other stuff like that, but I know he's done a spin-off story, but I haven't seen him lately. Not just because of the cons, like they're closed down, but just he's been to other cons, and I haven't been at the same cons as him. But he's a sweet person. So. Yeah,
I met him at C2E2. Is where I first found his stuff, and yeah, he's a great guy. Just a nice guy. Are you on the, like, for me, I've got Wizard World Chicago, which is in, like, August. Are you, like, on the docket for any conventions yet for the remainder of the year that may or may not off?
Well, I was thinking of doing New York City Comic Con, but just to attend. Yeah. Like, I have friends that attend. They say it's a great place to meet other people. So I'm thinking of heading over there if they're open. It's kind of like willy-nilly how they're kind of doing it now. So I'm just like, well, I've got a mask. I've got a breathing valve for my mask, so I'm not going to suffocate. If it comes down to that, all right. I mean, it's weird because, like, I know we were talking about major surgeries earlier. I don't know what it is, but I think after you have major surgery, you kind of have a better idea how your body is and what limits you're willing to put it through. And plus, if you're not 20 anymore, you're just like, yeah, this kind of hurts a little more. Like, you're not necessarily decrepit, but you're just like, okay, this kind of hurts. My back kind of hurts a little and shit.
Right. Yeah. Standing all day. That's not something I love conventions, but I gotta sit down. Sorry. It's just the way it works.
Yeah. So it will be sorry. Apologize.
Oh no, my knees don't take it anymore. So.
Yeah, I kind of got that. I broke my ankle when I was in my early 20s, and I got the plate removed a few years ago, but still it's a lot better. I will say that after the pancreatic tumor, I think the pancreatic tumor made everything hurt more. Like I would start getting really weird backaches, and because the stupid thing was pressing down on my spine and other stuff too. So it's
Oh,
also
gee.
yeah, and it's like I was telling you like how I lost a lot of weight, but it's weird too because since it was like on my upper gut, it made my upper gut bulge, and I was like, where is this coming from? And now it's like completely flat, and I'm like, this is so weird. Like I almost have the stomach I want now after so many years, and I'm just like, oh, like because I would work out and I wouldn't see any results, and I'm like, what's going on with me? And then
Outta
now,
here.
yeah, now I'm like actually getting cuts on the side of my stomach, like muscle cuts. I'm like, okay, so
Ooh.
yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I don't want to be like, hey, look at my gains and shit, but it's just like after 10 years of like being unhealthily overweight, but it's not your fault. You're just kind of like, wow, I shrunk. It's sort of it
Well,
kind of
hey,
yeah.
you earned it, so enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird, kind of like because like it wasn't that long ago, even though it was like 5 or 6 months ago, roughly. Actually, even 9 months almost. But you're kind of wait, no, 8 months. 8 months. It would be 8 to 9 months. Yeah. But I just was like, damn. It was like just it kind of was hard for me to wrap my head around that I had lost that much weight and that my body shape and everything is so different now. It's just and some people say, no, 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 you look good before. I said, no, I'm not talking about like I was ugly because I was fat. I was just like going,
Right. Right.
it's just like after major surgery or something, you just notice the changes and it's your body has, and it's even weirder because, God damn it, Quentin's talking about dinosaurs. He's always going about this one type of dinosaur. He says, the funny part is that I used some dinosaur references during my essay writing. And now he's like going on, what's the type of dinosaur you're going on about, Quentin? But yeah, so, but it's just weird how your body will change. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, with your jaw, you kind of felt kind of weird after a while, but in a way, like,
Well, yeah, it was. I mean, it's it's hard to go 6 weeks. I mean, you have no energy because you're really taking in just milkshakes and protein shakes, so it's hard to keep yourself it fit,
yeah,
and that's no fun. So, but then you start you kind of wither away a little bit, and then you have that to work with to build back up from.
yeah,
So yeah, so it's got its pluses and minuses definitely.
yeah, yeah. So it's just, as I said, it's weird in a way, like, as I said, how your body changes on that and, like, hitting your 30s and possibly 40s. And you're just like, now I see how my parents are aging and I'm starting to look like them. Oh my God. Yeah. Like one time I looked at myself in the mirror one time and I'm like, my mom was staring back. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh no, yeah, yeah, no, same thing with my dad. It's tough.
Oh
It's tough.
really? Yeah, because you're just looking at like,
Now I see. Yes.
shit, I'm getting gray up here, like how my mom did around 40 something. And you're just like, oh shit. And I mean, it's like, you're happy that you're getting older because some people don't get that chance, but at the same time, you're like, fucking.
Yes. Give me a drag. I'm still this is the longest my hair's been since high school. So
Oh,
this is there's an adjustment period here.
really?
Um
Was it
and I
kind of like a
don't,
buzz
yeah.
cut?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, because you were more active in the military.
Right,
Oh,
right.
okay. Yeah, because I was like going, yeah, for me, it was like I was starting, like I would have occasional white hair here, and then it's starting to get like white en masse here, and I'm like, fucking hell. So, but it's like, the thing is that the thing is finding the dye to do it. I mean, it's not totally bad. Like if I get old, when I get old enough and I get more white hair, I'll probably do like that whole cool Pulgaris, like fucking sorceress streak right here, the white streak
There
for the
you
dark
go.
hair.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
But I also found out another thing about hair dye is that do not get absolutely black hair dye. Then you will look like doll hair. You actually want to get like a really dark violet or indigo so it actually looks more normal.
Okay. All right.
Because, I mean, your hair has highlights, so you're going to have to look at like what kind of highlights you have in your hair. And you're like,
Yeah. Yeah, if it's jet black, you get probably their eyes are going to linger a couple extra seconds, and that's like.
it's like, is that real?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like been pretty cool, but I've been pretty happy about this. It's been a good thing. So yeah, I mean, but I look forward to the next 2 weeks. I think they will be better. I think people kind of have a lot of repression from the other end where it's like, okay, let's get normal and like buy stuff and like just do things.
Yeah. It's gotta come back. We gotta find a new. Well, hopefully not a new normal, but
I think it's just a progression to just better. I think myself, because like my family's from South Korea and they went through the coronavirus themselves, but they also wear masks sometimes because the pollution comes from China a lot of the time. The fine dust creating
oh
a lot
yeah.
of, like, so that's why they wear a lot of masks voluntarily, and that's why they're obsessed. Like if you watch, because I watch a lot of Korean vlogs of cat vlogs or people that live there, and there's a lot of times they'll have air filter, and the air
Hmm.
filter will actually show, like 2.5 p.m. I think that's the minimum particles, and it just like you breathe in it, it almost hurts and stuff. The smog sometimes is really bad there, so they actually put on the mask voluntarily just to kind of like breathe, so they don't do that. But so they're kind of used to that in a way. Oh yeah, Jeremy said Georgia already opened up. Yeah. So and hey Rose. So but the thing is that they know when to take it off, and like while they kind of have this really organized system. But my friend who's my hairdresser, she's from Korea, and she was explaining
Okay.
like how Korea dealt with similar situations like this, and she says actually the MERS outbreak was very interesting because I thought Korea had SARS because of the close proximity to China, but she said actually no, we were doing a lot of trade with the Middle East, so we got the MERS instead.
Oh,
So they had to
okay.
do their own like travel restrictions and stuff. So it's nothing new. So this whole thing, even though it's a novel coronavirus, they're just like, okay, we've done this before. This is what we do, and everything. It's very similar to what we've had to deal with. We'll do it then.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I think I don't know. It's for the United States. Everything is still seems new for us, and we're slow to step outside our normal routines. But
Yeah. Well,
hopefully we learn from mistakes and the things that happen. Next time we come back a little stronger.
yeah, I think also probably with America, it's kind of another set of parameters because a lot of the countries, like not necessarily Europe. Europe, this didn't really happen en masse either, but I would say with Asia, it's interesting because they're used to dealing with pollution a lot more.
Mm.
And unfortunately, since this compromises the lungs, pollution also compromises the lungs. So I think it's very serious over there. That's why they're in habit of wearing the mask a lot more. But in America, I mean, I know people debate this, but overall, our air is pretty clean compared to what China and Korea are. Like, I've seen
Yeah.
I've seen footage where it's bad. Like, I know LA used to be bad. Now it's like pretty nice out. Even before, like people were staying in at home and all that. Like I heard from my friend, my buddy Lawrence, he does Real Deal Comics, and he was telling me that because he was here like because I'm more Northern California, so I didn't grow up in LA, but I remember reading as a kid like the smog used to be so bad they're talking about wearing masks or respirators. I'm like what, and then they would
Yeah.
show the smog. But he said that it got a lot better. But he said sometimes you'd be out there and your lungs would burn. And then in the 80s and 90s, it got cleared up due to the catalytic converter and increased EPA. So it was like now it's actually okay. Like you can breathe and it's not a bad thing. The only thing I would argue is where I live. It's like it's dusty. So when my friends were like, "Why don't you open a window?" I said, "No, all this dust will come in."
Oh.
And they're like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, it'll land. It's really nasty." But yeah, so I think what we have in our favor is that we actually have overall pretty clean air. I mean, there's some areas that are dirtier than most, but in air quality, but overall our air is really pretty clean. Because I also went to Europe, and it's like it kind of surprised me how much stuff was in the air there too, even way before this. Like I went to France, Paris,
Mm.
and one time so I thought I was smooth. It's like, okay, I'm gonna bring stuff. Like I'm gonna bring this facial wash and everything, but like my face would still feel kind of dirty and stuff. Like you just kind of know. I mean, I know dudes don't normally have facial wash, so I'm just telling how women kind of like. But it was like it just felt like there's this weird residue. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna wash my face with soap and water, right? So I
Okay.
did, and all this black stuff came off my
Oh.
face. And I'm just like, damn. And I don't think it was like modern day Parisian pollution. I think this is like stuff from like industrial revolution, like the coal burning and all that other stuff.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so
Where were you at the time? Where was that?
this was in Paris by the Louvre, that area.
Okay.
So by
Okay.
the Louvre, I think, because I know there's different neighborhoods in Paris. So we were by the Louvre. We were by the yes, I did see the Mona Lisa.
Nice.
This was actually right after the Da Vinci Code.
Oh yeah.
So everybody
Right.
was like crowded and like taking pictures of her and shit. But there was the Louvre, and then there was the. I'm trying to remember. We went to the Eiffel, but we didn't go in the Eiffel. But the
Okay.
Eiffel Tower was crazy because, like, you see it in pictures, and it's tall and stuff. But when I went to it, I'm like, oh shit. And then I went to Notre Dame. That was a really cool church.
Nice. Yeah, I know it burned down. I think they're still working on it, right? They're still restoring it.
Well, luckily they're talking about what is it? Luckily they're talking about. I think the central part got burned up, but they're
Mm.
restoring it. And as far as I know, the main structure was okay. And actually, a good majority of the artifacts were not in danger, or they weren't. I mean, some got messed up, some got burned and lost, but a good majority of them, it wasn't as bad as they expected. Because it looked like, oh shit, everything's on fire and it's going to be burnt out into a husk, and then it turned out, oh, it's not as bad as we thought it was going to
Oh,
be.
great. Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I haven't been following that, but yeah, I thought it was decimated and we're never going to see it again. But that's great. That's good news.
yeah, I think what it was, now that I recall, because it'd been like probably a year or two ago, but I think what they did, what the reason why it wasn't so bad too, I just realized, was is that they were already restoring it, so they had already taken a lot of the artifacts out to be restored. So they were in another part of the building, or they were somewhere else being cleaned up. So that's why it wasn't as bad. But it was
Okay.
pretty bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there was some priceless shit that like did get burned up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
Yeah.
like it gutted everything or something, But it was pretty bad. Yeah, Quentin was telling me they're trying to update the roof. Now Quentin is I think I told you about him. He is from Rotterdam in Amsterdam in the Netherlands.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's kind of like my European contact when it comes to news or something. He's a great
That's
guy. Yeah.
I'm jealous. They could just hop on a train and go, for the weekend. They can go to the Louvre, or they can go to, Venice, or yeah, it's just all the history and the architecture over there. Hey, let's take a drive over to the Alps this weekend. What do you?
Yeah, right. It's like they go on
It's just,
holiday, and it's
just,
like I went to Eastern Europe, and they actually, even though they didn't participate in Euros or something, or some of them weren't part of the European Union, but they preferred Euros because it's one of those things like if they go on holiday, they don't want to exchange them and all that shit. They just
Right.
prefer to just get them as they go. So, but I went to Hungary. That was actually a really understated, beautiful country. Like at least Budapest when I went.
Okay.
And we walked by like in this one neighborhood, and it says like, "Hey, Dracula's cave," where Vlad the Impaler, like, Vlad Tepes basically hung out when he was hiding from the Ottoman Turks. It was like weird. And then the Buddha and Buddha is the hills and Pest is the lower part, and that's why it's called Budapest, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, boy, you can go anywhere. Boy, you can go anywhere. That's what Quentin's saying. But but it's like
Yeah, we're jealous.
right? But it's like weird. It's like for us Americans, it's like, yeah, we'll go on a plane, we'll go to Idaho or something. But it's like it's still America, but it's like it's still America, right? Whereas like
Right.
Europe, I don't say Europe is exactly the size, but comparatively, Europe is there. But it's got like so many different cultures, as you said, and all these other things that it's just kind of amazing that it's kind of amazing to go to. Like, fuck, I just want to go to France, like for 1 week. All right, we'll just go there. Where it's like for Americans, it's like we got to do this whole thing and take a trip and fly out there.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah. It's I've got my brother lives in Germany, so he always rubs it in my face. I took I took my motorcycle to the Alps over the weekend. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, it's You're like, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go camping in Spain this weekend. Like you. So.
You're just like, yeah, because like for me, like, yeah, LA's been kind of doing this weird thing where first it was uber restricted, now it's like, oh yeah, we're opening up. So like
Okay.
it was funny how like how they were saying, like the news was going, there was a spike in everything and blah blah blah, but then like California's like, yeah, we're opening up our film on the 12th, and I'm just laughing. I mean, it's kind of one of those like dark humor kind of things, like, oh well, let's just go with it.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Which city in Germany is Quentin is asking, and Jeremy's asking if I've been to England. Yes, I have. Southend-on-Sea, and I've been to London. So, which city in Germany is your brother in, if you want to say?
Stuttgart.
Where is that anyway?
Um,
Because I've been to Berlin. I've been to Berlin.
yeah, I don't know. He's told me about it. He said that the the people there are a bit highfalutin. They're a bit snobbish towards Americans.
Mm.
But our heritage is German Polish, so
Mm-hmm.
we should. I can speak London. I don't know, but he loves it there. So.
Mm-hmm. I've actually been to Poland. That was actually a really nice place.
Where?
Poland. Let's see. I've been to Warsaw or Warsaw.
Yeah.
I get
no,
in the
I-
habit of
yeah.
calling their names like how the people of the country say it. So Warsaw and Krakow. And what was weird,
Okay.
Krakow was fucking hot. Like I went there, it was like hot and sweaty, and just like. But that was where we saw the Schindler's Factory, and we
Wow.
saw the Warsaw. Oh, we saw the Krakow ghetto where Roman Polanski was rescued from. I just only say
Oh.
notably, yeah, that's where he was at. I mean, they even had one Polish. I don't know if he was Jewish or not. Oh, Stuttgart, yeah. So he was sitting there, and no, there was this writer, bronze of this writer, and this motherfucker was so hardcore. He wanted to prove how fucked up the camps were, so he made himself get arrested to go in the camps and escaped and wrote about. I'm like, damn, and like
Oh.
this guy was just like this really like. He was bald. He had kind of a big nose with eyeglasses.
Yeah.
I'm just describing his physical features. I'm not really trying to associate with him with it. But it's like a guy you wouldn't think would last in something. I mean, even the most hardiest people died badly in those camps. It's designed to
Right.
break you and just exterminate as many people as possible. And he just like said, "Fuck this," and just went
Yeah. Yeah.
and escaped. And I'm like, but it was so. But yeah, it was a nice place. It was quiet. They actually have. Um, they had like a plaza, and we could go there in the market. We actually bought a bunch of cute Christmas ornaments, but they had a lot of other cool things. But it was hot as hell because I realized in East Germany, save for Austria and Germany, it was like nobody used air conditioning. It wasn't like they didn't have it, but
Yeah.
as our guide was saying, since the communist times, he's Romanian. Ironically, he was half German, but he said he was Romanian. It's like they just don't use it. They're just not in a habit to, because they're so used to not having heat or air conditioning.
Okay.
And even though it's like 20, 30 years since communism fell from Russia, the Iron Curtain, so that was insane. And Jeremy's asking why were they called Nazis. I said, well, they were called Nazis because I think it's like National Socialism. It's a German form of it, but yeah. So what ended up happening was that so I went to Poland, but then Warsaw was. It kind of looked like Campbell in San Jose. Or it looked like San Jose. And I was joking with my mom. I said, oh, Mom, this looks like San Jose. She got pissed at me for saying that. But I found out why.
What does it?
Yeah, right? Well, it did. Like the structure. Well, I noticed that in Europe, if the city is more modern, it wasn't because they designed it that way. It was because everything got bombed to shit. Like
Yeah,
most of the city
yeah.
got destroyed. And even if you see old buildings in those areas, they're reconstructed from paintings. And I never knew that, and that was insane for me because I was like looking at that like really. But if you're in that more, isolated areas like Krakow was, the Nazi occupation was there, but they have most of the regular infrastructure intact. But if you go to Berlin, or if you go to Warsaw, bomb to hell.
Yeah. I was in Munich on my last deployment. I got a chance to take some time off. I went to Munich. And just looking around the city, every museum, every building was like, it's been restored, but pretty much it was firebombed, yeah, during World War II. The only building that I was in that had not been bombed and did not require restoration was the beer hall.
Yeah,
So
don't like fuck up my bar, man, or my beer
that's
hall.
right. That's right. So hats off to those bombardiers. They missed the critical infrastructure.
Yeah, right. Because we just gotta have beer. We just gotta have alcohol. We gotta have the strippers and the titties and shit. Like, yeah. Hey, Cameron, what's up? What up, room? So yeah, we're just checking out. But it was 1:31 actually. So
Oh yeah. Hey, wow, that went pretty fast.
yeah. So it's like I haven't brought my cup of coffee here. Like that. So there you go.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. What's that? That's water.
Tea.
Mm. Yeah, like nowadays, like back in the day when we were all young, it's like, oh fuck, I just better pour myself a glass of whiskey and shit. Now you're like, coffee and tea now. My stomach hurts.
I need that boost, right?
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, anything you'd like to say? Like, as my closing thing is, guys, take a look at our Kickstarters, take a look at his pinned up, take a look at mine, spread and share the love, please, because I would love you guys. I would love all of us to fund. I mean, we basically fucking went through like 2 Constitution class warships in 1776. You know, when they're fucking throwing the volleys, fucking. And even though we have a pretty sturdy ship, like your Kickstarter's solid, mine's solid, everybody else's, like we have a group and ours is all solid, but we're like.
Well, right. You're not going to feel solid until you're funded. So
Yeah.
there's that tricky. You feel great, but you're not going to feel as great as you can until you know you're brought it home. So
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Quentin was just telling me another thing. When you go to another Polish city, Gdansk, I'm hopefully not fucking up Polish here. Most of these buildings you see are Belgian and Dutch designs. They got rid of the German design buildings. I would understand. Like, when he explained it to us, like how World War II was, and I won't get it into here, but the whole diaspora or the classification of World War II, that was eye opening too. So, but you guys, you have a great day and stay safe. And I think we're gonna have a good energy upswing for the rest of the week. I think so.
hey, thank you so much, Christy, for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, it was good to have you on there. And I don't want to say best of luck. I think you'll fund within the next few days, to be honest. You don't have that far
Thank
to
you.
go.
You too.
Yeah, thank you.
We're gonna make.
Yeah, cool. All right, guys. See you later. Be sure to check out his Kickstarter and mine, and be sure to spread it. Talk to you then. Bye bye.